Good morning. So today I'm going to discuss about the third unit, that is concept generation. So the concept generation is nothing but we need to develop a lot of ideas. Okay, the idea this is actually called as idea generation. So once we complete the customer requirements, that is gathering the customer requirements from the market, okay, we need to put them in a table, the customer requirement matrix table. So by that we'll come to know that what the customers are expecting about the product, or the product which is to be developed. So based on those concept, based on those requirements, we need to develop a lot of ideas. That is called as concept generation. So the concept generation approach, if we use the standard approach of concept development, okay, that reduces the issues, lot of issues which are expecting in future if we do not adopt the structured process. That's why we need to adopt the standard practice or standard process of concept generation process, okay, to overcome the likelihood of costly issues or the problems that will occur in future. This concept generation process involves 5 main steps. The first step is clarification of the problem. The second one is search externally. The third step is search internally. And fourth step is explore systematically. And the sixth step is reflect on the solution and the process. So these are the 5 important steps have to be adopted or to be followed for any product development process in the industries. Okay, and this 5 steps that represents the standard or the structured way of product concept generation. Okay, we have to follow these 5 steps. Okay, that will reduce the, previously as I told, that would going to reduce the costly issues which are expected to occur in future. Okay, so then we discuss about the first step, that is known as getting a clarification of the problem. Okay, so in this we are expecting 3 inputs for the first step to get the clarity about the product concept generation. The first input is the mission statement of the project. Okay, the mission statement. The mission is nothing but purpose of the product to be developed. Okay, that is the mission statement of the project. The second input is the customer needs list. Okay, that is nothing but we have already gathered the information from the customers. Okay, the requirements, customer requirements, what customer are expecting about the product which we are intending to develop. That is the second input. And the third input is the preliminary product specification. So already you know that in the previous chapter we have collected the customer requirements. Okay, the customer requirement will be in the vague form. Okay, that's going to be properly expressed, okay, in the standard PDD customer matrix table. Okay, so and also we need to define, once the customer information is gathered or the requirement is gathered, we need to define the target specification. Immediately once we collect the customer requirements, we need to define the target specifications. Once the target specifications, the customer requirements gets converted into target specifications. Okay, once these target specifications are expressed, okay, these are going to be finally to be used, these target specifications are to be used for finally developing product specifications. Okay, so with respect to these, the target specifications and the product specifications are most important. Okay, in the beginning we have the target specification of the customer. Okay, so then we need to finalize what are the actual product specifications which are expecting. So these three inputs acts as a primary requirements for getting the clarity about the problem or the clarity about the concept to be developed. Understand? So that is the first step. And also I have given an example, okay, about the hand and nailer, okay, which is going to be developed for the carpenters or the people who are would like to nail the nail into the wall. Okay, they have got certain requirements. They have the requirements of ease of operation and also the ease of handling, and the equipment which is designed should be lightweight, and the effort required should be less, and it should be automatic, and it should have a on and off button. So something like that, the customers have a lot of requirements. Okay, then how the equipment, the hand and nailer to be developed for the market. Okay, that example already I have given. So once we collect these inputs have been used for getting the clarification of the problem. The next issue is that we cannot immediately get the solution for the product to be developed or the problem to be solved. Okay, that is called as, we need to split the complex problem into many small problems. Those are called the simple sub problems. Okay, so that we call it as problem decomposition process. Okay, the problem decomposition process is going to be split again into maybe a functional decomposition, or it may also be going to be defined into a structural decomposition. Okay, there are many ways how the problem is going to be split into sub problem, so that to get the clarity about the problem to be developed. Okay, these are the two PDD tools we are using for problem. These are the two techniques of PDD, that is known as the problem decomposition and functional decomposition. Okay, have to be adopted. So in the beginning of the problem decomposition, we need to use a single black box concept. Okay, the single black box concept, you can refer the table 6.4, that is exhibit 6.4, okay, in the PDD book written by Ulrich. Okay, you refer that table. We have 3 inputs and we have 3 outputs in a single box. Okay, that single box of a hand nailer is called as handheld nailer, is called as a black box. Okay, this is called as a black box concept. So the single black box going to be decomposed into sub problems. The sub problems, you can refer the next immediately the B figure in that. Okay, that tells you that there are totally 7 blocks are there. So single block gets decomposed into 7 boxes. That is called as based on the function. The bigger complex box is going to be split into 7 boxes, for each energy and the nails and the tip of the tool. Okay, for these we have alternatives. Okay, the single problem is going to be split into many problems. So that is called as functional decomposition. Okay. Then comes to once we have these things, we need to go for the second step, that is called as the search externally. So whatever the concept we generated, okay, that is going to be pushed to the outside world, that is known as pushed to the outside world to get some more clarity of the concepts, or how the concept can be still or further could be improved with respect to the market. So that is known as the searching externally. Okay, it is to find the solutions to the overall problems and the sub problems. Okay, So what are the ways by which we can search externally? The first approach is that we need to interview the lead users. Okay, the lead users are nothing but they are the people who are actually use or mainly use our products. So we need to gather the information by posing our ideas to improve the ideas. Okay, then second one is known as we need to consult the experts in the market, and also we need to search the patents, okay, which are published with respect to the product which is intended to be developed. Already there are some products in the market similar to the product which you are intended to develop. Okay, those patents are also going to be referred. Okay, and also we need to search the published literature papers which are then available on the net. Okay, and also as you are doing a literature review for your final year project, similarly for this project of the product development, so how the literature is to be referred, and we need to get this lot of knowledge and ideas to improve the existing ideas of the product development which we selected for development. Okay, then and also we need to refer some the benchmark problems are there in the market. We need to compare those benchmark product with the product which we are intended to develop. Okay, so these are the ways by which we can search externally. The third step is search internally. Okay, search internally is nothing but, okay, we gathered some of the information for the improvement of the concepts which we have generated from the outside world. Okay, that is called the search externally. The third step is search internally. In this process, we have a very strong team of our organizations. For example, there will be production manager, there will be design manager, there will be materials manager, and also there are financial manager, HR manager. Those are all people who are involved in the operations of industry. They have to be brought. Even the sales department, the marketing people, they are also most important people because they are in touch with the market in the industry. So we need to involve all the functional key heads of the organization into the development of this concept. Okay, so that is known as searching internally within our organization. Okay, so we have certain ways of doing that. One is known as suspended judgment. Suspended judgment is nothing but we need to call the meetings of all the heads of the departments of the organization, and we need to spark the concept. Okay, and we need to discuss about the alternative ways of improving the concepts. Okay, then at the end of the day, the meeting is going to be suspended, or we should not conclude what is to be finally developed. No. So only we need to spark the ideas, we need to discuss, and we have to stop the meeting, and the same meeting has to be laterly conducted after a week or after 2 weeks, after sparking the ideas in the minds of the heads of the people in the organizations who are involved in development of the product. Okay, so then we suspend this. Once we spark, and we need to suspend this meeting conclusion after a week or after 15 days. That is called as suspending the judgment. So these, during the period of suspension, don't think that people or the heads of the organization they keep quiet. No, always, every instant, every moment, they keep on thinking about the idea which has been sparked and how they are to be improved, or what are the other ideas can come up as a substitute ideas for the new concepts. So something that every heads of the people, they are involved in thinking for whole 15 days. Okay, then finally after the conducting their 15 days of the meeting, so they will come up with a lot of ideas and lot of concepts in the mind. Okay, that's called the suspended of the judgment. That's why we need to suspend for some days. Okay, the meeting. Then generate the lot of ideas. That is true. And the third step is welcome the idea that may not be feasible also. Okay, we see that idea is somebody proposed, and we know that idea is not feasible. Even though we should not suppress that idea, we need to accept that idea, and this idea may generate some other ideas. Okay, after brainstorming on the infeasible idea. okay, that may be converted into better idea also. There are chances. That's why we need to accept, even though the solution is or the concept is infeasible. Then we need to use graphical pictures to represent the concept, and also we need to use certain physical media also. So these are the ways by which we can search or gather some more information, some more ideas, some more concepts internally. Okay, so then we need to collect the individual as well as group ideas. Okay, we should not neglect any ideas in the product generation. Okay, and also there are some other hints for generating the concepts. Okay, the first is that making the analysis. So the making the analysis is nothing but experienced designers always ask themselves. Okay, they put questions for themselves and they come up with certain new ideas for the problem. That is called as making the analysis. And also wish and wonder. Okay, sometimes we express that it I wish to do it, or we could do it, or we would do it. So like such ideas are also going to be accepted. And also the use related stimuli. The stimuli is nothing but the most of the individuals can think of the new idea when presented with a new stimulus. Okay, once one person proposes one idea, the people start thinking on the same guidelines. They may come up with a subset of new ideas. Okay, that is called the stimuli of the idea. Okay, like this, these are the ways by which we can generate a lot of ideas. Then the fourth step of the concept generation is explore systematically. So this is all these ideas which have been generated, plenty of ideas, they have to be systematically explored by using two PDD tools. The one PDD tool is called as concept classification tree. The other tool is known as concept combination table. So these are the two PDD tools used in the concept generation. Okay, they are given the assignment. You need to develop two products, that is called as the nailer and also the syringe for the product development of medical equipment manufacturing. So you need to use or generate the ideas by using the concept classification tree and concept combination tree. Okay, then what this concept classification tree expresses? Okay, the concept classification tree helps you to divide the entire space of possible solutions into several different classes. Okay, which will be facilitating comparison and for pruning. Okay, you can refer table 6.7. Okay, I have explained there. There are the four branches. The first branch with respect to the storing of energy, okay, which is going to be used for nailer design. Okay, one is we can use chemical energy, and another energy pneumatic. The third energy is hydraulic, and the fourth energy is electrical, and as the another fifth energy, it can be nuclear. So these are all the alternatives available for the storage or the acceptance of the energy. Okay, again the chemical energy has got two things. One is known as fuel and air system, and then there is the explosive system. And also the electrical energy have again three alternatives: a wall outlet, and the battery, and the fuel cell. So like this, the classification tree tells you how many branches, how many subsets of alternatives are available. So that's going to be clearly structured and expressed in the form of tree, that is called as concept classification tree. So after that, we need to use the concept combination table. So the concept combination table tells, so with reference to the figure 6.9, that is exhibit 6.9, okay, for the hand nailer product development of concept generation, we use three columns. One is known as conversion of electrical energy into transformation energy, and the accumulation of the energy, and the applied transitional energy to the nail. Okay, so to do, these are the three factors we are considering for the development. So in the first, the converting of electrical energy into transforming to the other energy, transitional energy. So we can do this by four ways. Okay, one is known as rotary motor with transmission, and linear motor we can use, and also we can use solenoid valve, and also we can use rail gun. So these are the four alternatives. Similarly, for accumulation of the energy, two alternatives, the spring and the moving mass. Similarly, for the third requirement, that is application of the transitional energy to the nail, we can do it by three ways. One is known as single impact, or we can give multiple impact, or we can give push nail. So these are the three ways. So like this, we need to develop the what are the alternatives available for each factor, that is known as the concept combination table. Okay, so these, after developing this concept combination table, we need to identify the combinations. Okay, permutation combinations, such kind of skill to be, mathematical skill to be used, statistical skill to be used, and combine these alternatives and develop develop outputs, then finally come up with some ideas, okay, the feasible ideas, so which can give better output with respect to the customer requirement. Okay, then the fifth step is reflect on the solutions on the process. That is nothing but what we have done up to the fourth step, okay, and what we developed finally at the output. So we need to brainstorm them, finally conclude about what are the feasible ideas which have been selected by applying the structured process of this concept generation, all these four steps. That is known as the step fifth. Finally, we are concluding about the some ideas, feasible ideas, which can be taken for the next chapter, that is called as concept selection. Okay, thank you. If you have got any clarifications or you have got any doubts, okay, please, we'll have a one online class. There you can point out the doubts. Okay, you can ask me online, I can clarify the doubt, and also take the questions. Okay, the first question is that identify, what do you mean by, first question you take down, what do you mean by, okay, concept generation, what do you mean by concept generation, and what are the benefits of using structured approach of PDD, structured approach of PDD. Okay, you need to write down, that is the first question, number one. And second question, identify the steps involved in concept generation, and discuss, okay, with the block diagram. Okay, third question, what are the tools and techniques or the approaches which are being used, okay, for decomposition of the problem, in getting the clarification of the problem of the first step of the PDD, question 1, and describe with a sketch. And next question, identify the PDD tools and techniques and approaches used for the step 4, explore systematically of concept generation and describe with neat sketches and block diagrams. Thank you all.